What's good, World Squad? Back at you guys with another video. And hey, on today's episode, I want to talk about how you can increase your profit margins while selling on Amazon. If this is your first time watching this channel, my name is Travis Cooper. I'm the creator of Amazon Made Easy, the program that gives you the blueprint to buy back more of your time so that you don't have to exchange your time for money. I appreciate you giving me your time to watch this video, so let's get straight into it. All right, guys, so way number one that you can increase your profit margins while selling on Amazon is to improve your product sourcing, right? So if you are a wholesaler or you have a deal with a supplier, negotiate or renegotiate the deal. Maybe you buy more in bulk. If you're buying a couple hundred at the time, let's say if you're buying 100 or 500 at the time, see if they will take 10 or 20% off if you up the ante on your purchase orders. So instead of doing just a couple hundred, you start to do 1,000 or a couple thousand. That way that supplier knows that they have a guaranteed order from you. They have that money in hand and allowing you to get more savings on the back end. Also, if you're doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, make sure you have the most savings possible. So if you're using coupons, make sure you have your tax resale certificate in your state so that when you're sourcing these products, you're not getting charged any taxes. Be sure to be on any rewards programs from any of these stores, whether it's Walmart or Target. I think Target has what you call the red card, which you save 5%, and it allows you to have a bigger return window on your product. So be sure to sign up for all of those programs to get those extra savings. Usually they give you an extra 10-15% off on your first order. Be sure to attack the coupons. Another way to increase your profit margins is by purchasing discounted gift cards. I'll leave a website link below, the one that I use, if you guys are interested in purchasing these gift cards to increase your bottom line. Another way to increase your profit margins is to use cashback portals like Rakuten, Be Frugal, Top Cashback. I'll leave links down in the description of this video so that you can get some free cash just by joining these cashback portals. And last but not least, be sure to use the credit cards that give you the most cash back whenever you're purchasing your inventory, right? So if you have a business credit card, it gives you 2% or 3% cash back. Use that every time you're putting in a purchase order from your supplier. The next way to increase your profit margins, especially if you're doing FBA, is to manage your inventory efficiently. Now, Travis, how can something like that improve your profit margins? So we know if you're selling FBA or fulfillment by Amazon, Amazon has storage fees, right? So if you can improve your inventory, only sending in things that move in 30 days or less, it's not going to always happen like that. But judging by Keeper, using all this data that we have, putting together that picture to make a data-driven decision, we want to only be sending in items to FBA that are going to move. We don't want to get hit with these reoccurring storage fees or, God forbid, the long-term storage fees where Amazon goes crazy with the fees. Only send in items that are moving, right? Because eventually, if your profit margins are super thin and they continue to stay at Amazon's warehouse, it's not gonna make sense, right? So if you are only gonna make a couple dollars, it stayed in Amazon's warehouse for months after months, you're not gonna be in the green anymore, you're gonna be in the red, and it's just gonna be a disaster. You're losing money by paying these storage fees, and you're going to have to pay to get it returned to you. So your best bet is to manage your inventory efficiently, only send in items that's moving, that have a history of being fast movers on Amazon's platform. Now, you can take some chances if it's enough meat on the bone or if it's a higher profit margin item that you're sourcing where you know that even if it takes a couple months to sell, that you still gonna make a great profit on it and you pay little to nothing for it, by all means, still send those items in. But the majority of your items, right, where you're making that $10, $15, $20 profit, make sure it's moving so the fees won't cut into the money you'll be depositing in side pocket National Bank. The next way you can increase your profit margins on Amazon is by pricing your products competitively, right? If you don't have a repricer, which is an app that controls and based on your parameters, keeps your items competitive on the marketplace. If you just have items that's randomly priced on what you think it's gonna sell for, it's gonna tie into the last tip that I gave you. Because the price is all over the place, it's not competitive in the market, guess what? Your item is not going to sell if it's overpriced compared to other third-party sellers on the listing. So having a competitive price, rotating, getting in that buy box where 85% of all sales on Amazon occur is crucial to you moving and not getting those reoccurring storage fees from Amazon. We have to be priced to a point where we're in position to rotate that buy box so that we can have an 85% chance of getting that next sale. Guess what? Once our products are moving, we won't have to worry about the storage fee. That's going to allow you to increase your bottom line in this business. The next way to increase your profit margins is to minimize returns. This is one of the main reasons that I started in the book category back in 2010. And here it is in 2023. I'm still in the book category. Why? Because the returns in this category are super low compared to a category like clothing and shoes. My average returns on the year is anywhere from 3 to 5, sometimes 6%. Now on the clothing and shoes, if you plan to partake in those categories, your returns can be anywhere from 30 to sometimes 40%. We have to bake that into our bottom line. You know, it's good to get all these big number sales, but if they're constantly returning them, that's going to deduct from the money that you actually net and bring in. So in any business, whether you're brick and mortar or you have an e-commerce business, it's going to be some level of return. But what you want to do is try to minimize those returns. How do you do that? By making sure the customers are getting exactly what you said they're going to get. Make sure the condition is right. If Amazon is handling the picking, packing, and shipping, make sure all of that is top notch and you're doing everything possible on your end to make sure that they have a great experience. Same thing goes for merchant fulfill. You have more control. So make sure that experience is elite from A to Z so that you can minimize those returns, because those returns aren't going to do us any good, right? We could sell an item, profit $200, but if they send it right back in 14 days, it's no good to us. So again, make sure we're providing A+ customer service and that experience so that if they do have a change of heart or they just have buyer's remorse. So as I like to say, let's control everything we can control from our end, and then let the chips fall where they fall. Another way to increase your profit margin, which is like a sub to a previous tip that I gave you, is using FBA wisely, right? Only send in items with profit margins that make sense. You guys know I gave you on a previous example that sometimes if you had a slower selling item, if the profit margin is baked in, it's cool to keep it for a month or two on hand if you know that you're still going to be profitable. But with those faster moving items, also make sure it's enough profit baked in, because we already know the fees are going to be higher whenever you're dealing with FBA. So to increase the profit margins that we'll generally get, we're able to leverage Amazon's relationship with UPS and their carriers so that we can pack more items in the box, right? So the shipping usually for me to ship into Amazon's fulfillment center is usually about 30 cents per pound to send stuff into these fulfillment centers. So take advantage. If you have something small, pack as many as you can into those boxes that you're shipping in if you know they're moving at a rate. That way you're going to get that savings from shipping that you wouldn't normally get from merchant fulfill, which will increase your profit margins, right? Only send in things with high profit margins, again, that's really moving, because FBA is going to allow you to sell it a lot faster, because if you're a beginner, you're going to be eligible for that buy box a lot sooner than you would be if you're merchant fulfilled. So it's going to increase those profits by leveraging the buy box, giving you an advantage over that newer merchant fulfilled seller. And last but not least, another way to increase your profits is by limiting negative reviews or negative feedback. You know, when you shop online, you're going to look at the reviews. Let me see what happened. Is this person credible? Is this person trustworthy? So be sure to always stay on top of it. If you're using FBA, it's a simple request removal system that they have. If it was an FBA order, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to strike through it. If it's merchant fulfilled, they're not going to automatically strike through it. You have to do some negotiation with the customer. It's going to be a little bit tougher to remove. So be sure to stay on top of those orders either way, whether you're merchant fulfilled or FBA. It can increase your profit margins if you have that good review and that good feedback on your Amazon store. Hopefully you guys received a lot of value from this video. See you on the next one. Love.